Hello there, YouTube. It's your boy Josh Shops.
It's your boy Tay.
Another episode of Sports Talk Tangents. And on this episode, we're going to discuss She-Hulk episode 7. And just give you a slight warning, we will discuss small spoilers. But before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Also, leave your comment section whether you agree or disagree with us. Just keep it cordial. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. All
Yeah.
right. So, take first reaction, episode 7. What do you think?
Well, we already know who's the disliked name of all time right now. Who's number one on that list after this episode? Uh,
Hmm.
sorry for all the Joshes in the world, but your name is
Yeah, I
tarnished.
know. Josh is now a toxic name in relationships now, even though.
um, um, we starting to know more and more who's in this whole Hawk King group more and more. Um,
Mhm.
but as far as the episode was actually I would probably say this episode was probably the most straightforward episode prior to the season because
Yeah,
it just wasn't really nothing like a plot twist or anything. I mean, it was a plot twist, but not really. But it was like everything was like as far as leading up to that infamous part was kind of straightforward. Uh, Jen and Josh going into their dinner, their little dating phase, going through how many dates before they even do the whole kiss and first kiss thing. As we like to say it back in the '90s, he's knocking
Mhm.
boots and one and say make that official, the quote unquote official knocking. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man. Man, Josh had game, man. He had her smiling while sending Texas, man. He got her, bro.
Yeah,
He got her good, bro.
yeah,
He got her good, bro. Took on food
yeah. He,
truck dates. My man, he was playing. He was faking it till you make it. I mean, he saw the ghoster, but that's sort of.
yeah, yeah. But then later, like at the end of the episode, we actually see why he ghosted her because
Hmm.
we'll talk about that on the next episode part. But
Yeah, for episode 8. What you gonna lead
yeah,
episode 8?
yeah. So, but for this episode, we find out that uh the device that Abomination had went off at a location that was known as his quote unquote retreat for other villains or other
Hmm.
angered individuals, as I call it,
Hmm.
or troubled individuals, or powered individuals. Um, and he helps them with their anger and their self control and stuff like that for years now, if I'm not mistaken. Since he's been on parole, he did it. So
Yeah,
they find
yeah.
out his device went off, meaning that he did change into Abomination at least prior once, trying to make sure he don't
I,
violate his
I
parole.
thought I thought he said he went through a electric fence. I think it was something like
Yeah,
that.
that
I
was
think
a
he
left.
read
Yeah.
it. Fence,
Um,
which sounds like a lie, but we just gonna go with that.
I really think it was dude that my man with the had the electric powers with the sword. I really think it was him. I think he got in
Oh,
between them two, like between him and Man Bull. He probably got shot. I'm
yeah.
not even gonna lie to you. But
Eh.
yeah. Then the parole officer calls Jen. Um, she's like, okay, well, I need to go out. At first she wasn't even thinking about going out there.
Mhm.
She got talked into going out there with the probation officer. Find out, like I said, the electric fence of him chasing his favorite chicken, uh, was the reason why it went off. And it was a malfunction that they called it a malfunction.
Mhm.
Um, they recalibrated the device, so just in case he don't do, he does do it again, they'll be there. Um, but in that process, we find out that Jen is uh sprung. I'm gonna just leave it like that. She's sprung.
Nah, well, you
She
forgot
was
she
sprung. She was
you
sprung.
forgot she wasn't you forgot she wasn't getting really no play for being herself. She was getting more play for being She-Hulk, so she didn't really have to be She-Hulk. So I sort of understand her point of view. I sort of understand her point of view from her side, but I mean, I called this just to let you know when they met at the wedding. I said I don't think this person is who you think she is. I think he's faking the phone just to get close to her.
Yeah,
And I was right. I was right.
yeah, you was. You should know. Your name is Josh. You should know all the bad Joshes before.
Man, I'm not toxic, man. We toxic free over here. That's just one bad toxic job. Toxic names are names like Delonte. I'm not with. I'm not with.
Actually, I was about to say yeah.
That was a low key shot at you. But anything with Tay in it, he toxic. If he do
I
that and
don't know.
drive a Charger, if his name is Tay somewhere, Tay in it, he drive a Charger. Focus on yourself, Queen. I'm not with you, man.
I say it's way more worse than names than Tay. I can tell you that right now. But okay.
I'm joking. It's a joke. It was a low key shot at you, but it's okay. It was a joke. It was a joke.
Hey,
Don't take it
hey,
serious.
I'm not. You know me. I don't care.
Mm.
But yeah, like overall, like I said, it was straightforward. Uh, but let's get to this breakthrough that Jen had at Abomination's retreat. That she actually had a
Mm.
breakthrough. She actually broke down, her concern. I guess her concerns or her overall life in general. Um,
Mm.
that she was like she'll never because she's now She-Hulk that she will never have that life of being a normal person and everybody would know her for being Jen. That they would never separate the two. It would always be Jen and She-Hulk. It would never be Jen then She-Hulk, or it would be they can never separate the two. But now she's starting to deal with it. You know, the group end up talking her into blocking Josh, um, and deleting the number. In general. Uh, and then that's when we find out what happened. That Josh is part of the whole Hawk King group
And,
that's tried to destroy her
and
character.
he probably part of that. What is it? Intelligentsia. You know
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
but the group that hate group that is after She-Hulk is called, I think they call Hawk King or something like that. Hawk underscore King or whatever the case may be. But I think that's the name of it. But that's the website that
Mm.
they do use too, you know. And then they find out I think he does get the blood from her eventually. It looked like he did get her. Because if you look at the back of her arm, it did look like she had two uh pricks in the back of her arm. Um so I wouldn't be surprised if he did do it while she was asleep, while she was in normal form. Because when she sleeps, she go back to Jen. She don't sleep as She-Hulk.
Mm.
Um, so I think that's probably what. That's how they got it. And then we go to the next part. Now we go to episode 8, which you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. This episode I'd probably give like a C, a 7,
yeah, I give it.
7 out of
Yeah, I give it
10.
like a 7.
I give it like a
Yeah,
7 out of 10. It was okay. It was solid, straightforward. It was more piggybacking off her
yeah.
getting ghosted
I
by a
mean,
guy, which
yeah,
relates to stealing
yeah.
secrets.
I do give it a 7 as well. And I did like the fact that they went with her being more open about um her actual life as being
Mm-hmm.
She-Hulk and actually being Jen. Like they actually
Mm-hmm.
went more in depth with it. And I did like that fact that they did it and it wasn't around people that you would think that she wouldn't open up to. Like she was
Mm-hmm.
not going to do it at all. She even was about to kill one of the dudes because that was one of the working crew members from from episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it went from them, all of them uh somewhat not having a connection to all of them having a connection, and then she opened up, and I actually liked that. Like it didn't take it to where it was like Nikki or Pug or even Bruce. It literally was people that nobody didn't think that she was gonna open up to, especially Abomination. You know what I'm saying? That relationship changed drastically compared to when it first started. By
Mm-hmm.
him, trying to kill his cousin, trying to kill her cousin, Bruce, to representing them, to actually being, I guess you could say they friends or more associates. It's more lawyer than client, but now it's starting to go more into associates now. because she got to deal with him. That's that that's that's his lawyer. He has no choice
Hmm.
but to deal with her. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll give it a 7-12 though. But that's my reason.
Yeah, okay. All right, I think we're going to end it here. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Also, check out our channel. We do have other content. We currently doing House of the Dragons. We got old TV shows too, if you catch it back up on your streaming. And also, we're also available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Sports Talk with THR. Okay? Peace and grease.
Yep. So
Okay?